Hey guys, so we are cutting open some rocks today in the freezing cold. Right now it is 9 degrees, which for Shawsville is pretty darn cold. And I think this might be a little bit miserable because my saw that I use to cut rocks open, its splash guard is a little bit broken, so when I'm cutting it sprays water everywhere, and as you probably know, being cold and being wet is not a good combination. These are the rocks we're going to be cutting open today. Got a big chunky agate, and then this box is a box I've been saving for a while. These are some of the agates I've found that I'm most excited to cut open, and I've all found these within a mile of my house, which I think is pretty cool because as you can see by just looking at it, they're so different and diverse, yet they all came from relatively the same place. And even ones like this small little guy and this dude, I found these about 30 feet apart, yet as you can see, they're so much different. So yeah, I'm really excited to cut all of these open, and I hope you enjoy it too. So I'm gonna cut these in order from the ones that I have the least hopes in to the ones that I think are gonna be the better ones. So let's just go ahead and line them up. This one, I mean, it has some little bands on the outside, but I think it's gonna be very messy and not very clean. This one, yeah, I don't have very high hopes for. This one, I know it's probably gonna be good because over here there's some blue chalcedony, which is something you don't find very often around here. Let's go with the big one next. This one, I don't know. It's, you know, there's not really signs on the outside telling me what's going to be on the inside. So that one will be next. And then this little guy, when you put a flashlight up to it, it glows. All right, let me grab a flashlight. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at that. See how much that glows? And at first glance, this just looks like a regular rock. So I think that one will be second to last, and then this one will be our last cut. As you can see, there is some bands in there. It already has a relatively flat face, so I can see what's inside, but I'm gonna cut about right there and just get a super clean and flat face. So let's get to cutting. Before we cut, we have to fill up our saw with water, but my bucket of water is a little bit frozen. I don't know what to do about that. So we'll do our first two cuts, and I'm gonna try my best not to look at them so we can look at them for the first time together. So let's get this show on the road. Well, it kind of fractured out on me at the end, so didn't get a very clean cut. Well, that's kind of pretty. Yeah, it's, as I said, as I predicted, it's not very clear bands, it's very messy, but it's still pretty. I know you probably can't see this very well because I'm filming with my GoPro, but once I'm done cutting everything, I'll take pictures and videos of everything with my phone, and that'll be a much clearer picture, and you'll be able to see everything much better. So let's go ahead and do our second cut. Alright, well that is the second cut done, and it actually felt a lot harder of a cut than I was expecting. From the outside it just looked like quartz. So I was expecting it to be a quick cut. But let's see what's on the inside. Okay, well it's very mossy. Oh. And that's why we're doing the ones that I think are going to be duds first, so we can get them out of the way, and then get to the really good agates. It's just like how you eat your dinner before you eat your dessert. So this next one, I actually, if you saw one of my previous videos, which was mining for geodes, I was chiseling pieces of rock out of a big rock and getting geodes out of it. Well, this one came from that, and as you can see, there's blue chalcedony there, and there's some white little agate bands down here. So what I'm gonna try and do is cut through these white agate bands and also cut through the blue chalcedony, and hopefully those are connected, and we get some pretty bands. So let's see if I'm right. Well, that was a very quick cut, and it sort of fractured on me at the end, which is disappointing. But let's see. Oh, that is nice. That is really nice. Oh man, the depth to it is insane. I'll show you a up close, like a good picture with my phone later. But there is some amazing blue bands right there, and a little geode pocket as well. I mean, that's awesome. Let's look at the other piece. Yeah, this is the piece that kind of fractured out on me at the end. So this piece isn't that great, but this one also has bands. Man, that is awesome. Well, I think that was our first good cut, and our first one that had bands. Man, and I'm really happy about that. So let's cut the next one, which is the big one. Alright, well this one is very, very dark on the inside, and it's not very clear, so I would call this one a dud. So now all that we have left is 2 cuts, and they're both relatively small, so they should go by fast, but the battery on my camera is running pretty low, so I don't think I'm going to record these cuts. I'm just going to cut them with the camera off, and then I'll show you what they look like. Alright, well, I finally got those 2 cuts done. They were surprisingly hard cuts. I mean, it took a long time to cut them. But they're done, and now we get to look at them. So let's start with the small one. Gosh, thing's frozen to the table. Oh, get out of here. I think that might have bands. Hopefully you can see it well. Yeah, I think that has some bands. They're very light, but they're there. That's very cool. Now let's look at the big one. I pretty much already know what's on this one just by looking at the outside. Oh yeah, that's nice. You can very clearly see that ring around the outside. Well, cool. That was a very good cutting session. We got some good finds. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go inside now and take some better pictures of all the cuts we got today, and I'll show them to you.